These are fragrances I don't wear irrespective of summer, winter, autumn, spring. Doing the most but yet not doing it for me, which I don't bother because I just don't think myself and Lib will ever get on. I have come so close to getting rid of this fragrance twice. I can't stomach it. No, I don't want to get rid of it because look at it and there's nothing calling my name. There's some that I have not touched in a while. This fragrance is gathering dust. I'd say I use about 70% of my perfumes. The only reason they have not transitioned to declutter list is the packaging.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Hey Bambi, welcome back to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I'll become part of the family. I don't know why I'm looking so serious today. I've just finished filming something for work, so that's why I'm looking a bit serious and corporate. In today's video, I wanted to share with you some of the most least used fragrances in my collection. The majority of my perfume collection, I'd say I use about 70% of my perfumes, but there's some that I have not touched in a while. And what I've tried to do is I've tried not to bring out fragrances that I'm not using because it's not in season. For example, if I've not touched a fragrance in the last 3 months because it's a summer fragrance, I'm not bringing it on this list. These are fragrances I don't wear irrespective of summer, winter, autumn, spring. I'll try and tell you the reason if there's any reason. I think this will be a very good reflection video for me as well because it will help me ask the question, why haven't you worn these fragrances? Anyways, I've rambled enough. Let's get right into the video. Starting off, fragrance number 1. This fragrance is gathering dust. It's Creed Silver Mountain Water. This fragrance used to be one of my faves back in uni. It was my signature scent. I remember I got my dad to buy me this fragrance the first time I smelled it on somebody. It's a sophisticated, expensive smelling fragrance. However, for some reason, oh, I've even pulled out the atomizer. That's to show you how much I've not used the fragrance. The atomizer is popping off. I find that with this fragrance, I don't know if it's because it's a bit too harsh. I find it harsh. Like, I'm enjoying grown fragrances. I'm enjoying fragrances that are not necessarily floral. I have grown in my fragrance journey. However, this one, I just find it harsh. I can't stomach it. Next fragrance on the list went from an absolute love to me not wearing at all. This is Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. This is a very popular fragrance. Loads of people like this fragrance. When it first got released, the heel, the bottle, the packaging was what got me. And then I just think it's a really nice tuberose fragrance, but I'm not the biggest fan of tuberose, and I think there are other tuberose fragrances in my collection that I prefer to Good Girl. That's the only reason I'm not wearing it a lot. Get rid of it now? No, I don't want to get rid of it because I like the packaging. I need to clean it. This fragrance has gathered dust. I move on. Next fragrance that I have not used so much, you won't be surprised to hear this one. It is YSL Lib. I have said several times on the channel that this one, it is packaging. The fact that the packaging is limited edition. I'm not a fan of Lib. I find Lib very grown, very powdery, very 1980s kind of vibe. But loads of people like Lib. I know last year they released another version that is supposed to be sweeter. I haven't even put my nose on it. I don't bother because I just don't think myself and Lib will ever get on, regardless of the flanker that they release on this fragrance. It is very, very powdery. And to think that when this fragrance first came into my collection, I thought, oh, because it's got the lavender note, you know, maybe I'll be able to wear it to bed. It's even too harsh for bedtime. I personally think that Lib is too harsh for bedtime. That's another fragrance that is the least used in my collection. Next on the list is Ruby Woo. No, did I just call it Ruby Woo? Next on the list is Louis Rouge by Christian Louboutin. I know, Bella, if you're watching this, you're probably like, if you're not wearing it, just sell it to me. No, I like the packaging. I want to keep it in my collection. In fact, I'll say most of these fragrances that are my least used, the only reason they have not transitioned to declutter list is the packaging. I look at them and it all looks for me. I'm just like, oh, how can I get rid of this one? I love the bottle. And that's the exact case with Louis Rouge. This bottle is so heavy, not just because the bottle is heavy, but because the perfume is full. It's a nice fragrance, but it just smells very cosmetic-y, and I can't really think of anywhere I could wear it to. It's nice actually. You know what, Priscilla, maybe you just test it next couple of days at home, working from home, and see how I get on. That is LiQWYD Rouge from Christian Louboutin. Another fragrance that I have not been using much is Santa Royale from the house of Guerlain. If you're very familiar with my channel, you know why I have not used this fragrance. It's because where I used to work, whenever I wore this fragrance, people were sneezing, choking, almost passing out, needing defibrillators, and I'm just like, not on my watch. Not because of Priscilla that people will now, you know. So I just like, I'm not wearing it to work anymore. And somehow because of that, I just did not bother wearing it to anywhere. It's a really nice fragrance, I think, but I would prefer this on a man. The person who actually made me fall in love with this fragrance was my dad. I prefer this on a guy. I prefer this on a dude compared to me. I'm very girly, I'm very feminine, and this one is just harsh. It's very strong. It's like, this one is, this means war. This fragrance, when you wear it, you know you are going to battle. It's not a baby fragrance, and yeah, I'm just not getting the most use out of it because there's just nowhere to wear it to for me personally. Yeah, that's Santa Royale. I'm keeping it because it reminds me of my dad. Next on the list is Louis Crown from Christian Louboutin. The only two fragrances I own from Christian Louboutin I don't wear. I keep them in my collection to be looking at them. Just the same way when I bought Christian Louboutin shoes as well, I was hardly getting anywhere from them. I was also keeping them in my collection to say, I have lubes. I just don't know. I think when Louis Crown first came into my collection, I described this as sort of like an woody rose fragrance. Oud Bouquet is doing the job. Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper 25 is doing the job. Yeah, I have other fragrances in my collection that I prefer. Do not get me wrong, I do not hate these fragrances. They're just my least used, and I haven't decluttered them because obviously I still like them, but they're just fragrances that I don't wear that often. LiQWYD Rouge is one of those fragrances that I barely touch. Like, this fragrance is not getting any love in my collection, but yeah, I love the bottle, so it's still here. Next on the list is Hypnotic Poison from Dior. Probably with Love talked about this fragrance so much. I know she loves the fragrance, but I don't know why I don't touch this fragrance. I don't know what's wrong with me. Since this fragrance came into my collection, I have barely touched it. It is full. If not that I have taken out the nylon from the packaging, this fragrance is literally brand new. I haven't touched it at all. Hypnotic Poison, again, there's something powdery in it. There's something grown in it. It's an older fragrance. It's a fragrance that has been here for a very, very long time. It smells very grown. It's just not my style. There's no sweetness in it. It's not overly floral. There's just nothing pulling me to this fragrance. I look at it and there's nothing calling my name. Hypnotic Poison is not screaming loud enough. Penultimate fragrance on this list is Twilly de Hermes. This one is a heavy ginger spicy fragrance that I barely use. If you love spicy fragrances, I highly recommend Twilly. It's ginger to a really good point. Atarodo, pepper, hot. It's that type of fragrance when you spray, it doesn't keep short. It's like, I'm here. But there's also something about it that smells very vintage. Smells like, if you took off the label of Twilly, you took away the packaging, and you poured it in a Chanel perfume bottle, I won't be like, oh, that's not a Chanel perfume. It kind of gives me the same vibe as a Chanel perfume, which is still that grown. Almost all the fragrances I've talked about today, they are all grown, scratchy, doing the most but yet not doing it for me. I think that's the general theme that I'm seeing in most of the fragrances that I have talked about today. Finally on the list is this one. I hate to put it here, but I just have to. It's from Xerjoff and it's Dolce & Amalfi. Hopefully this spring, summer, I'll try and pull this fragrance out and see how I feel. For all my Xerjoffs, when I think about how much I use my other Xerjoff fragrances, this is my most least used Xerjoff fragrance. I still don't want to get rid of it. I have come so close to getting rid of this fragrance twice, and I still have it in my collection. I don't know why, but yeah, there you have it. Those are some of my most least used fragrances. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go ahead and let me know, what is your most least used fragrance in your collection. Go ahead and do all of that good stuff, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Guys, please like, please share, please subscribe. And also, I'll see you again in my next video, because I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Stay beautiful, stay blessed. Hi and bye.
I think I present my best.
You know? So yeah, so you know, so yeah, next on the next, and yeah, It's a so starting off, the majority of a lot of people love, like,
It's not